there you go.
No,
That's
no,
true.
don't you worry. I'm gonna get a secondary screen.
Okay.
Should I? Hello, friends.
To the left. To the left.
Take it back now, y'all.
Hey.
Leaves into the house, starts watching videos on my
Yeah.
It is
We'll
nice to be here with you, friends. Look at us all. You can even come a little bit closer to me, Jean. We are still at Clivia Hill. I have a bunch of Clivia. What's the second word?
Oh, it begins with an M.
Yeah, Clivia,
Some kind of
something
flower.
M flowers in this area. Full orange flowers. And we've been saying it incorrectly this whole time, and it was nice to be corrected a little bit. It's nice to have you friends here with us.
Indeed.
Indeed, it's true. And greetings unto you, beloved and holy friends. Today's stream topic is about noiseless communication. Me, Aaron, Joe, and Kiana on the way to get some coffee today had conversations about something called the telepathy tapes. And Aaron shared an anecdote about having had experiences like that with the universe where it suddenly dawns on him that telepathy might be a real thing. The title was titled talked about noiseless communication. And one of it was, of course, like telepathy, being able to actually say something to the other person without having to vocalize it and make noises in doing so. But there's also the communicating that can literally be noisy, where this is me throwing some shade at my sister. She can sometimes communicate with a lot of noise, where she'll start telling you a story, and she'll tell you so many of the extra parts of the story where you lose the story in her telling you so much about the story, right? And it's not any of her fault, other than she wants to give you all of the details because she's a very detail oriented person. So she wants you to understand the full spectrum of what it is she's talking about before she gets to the point of what she's trying to say. And it has been something that I found that me and my siblings can get a little bit frustrated in, like listening to the story, because us as boys, we really are to the point and very straightforward. Like, this is it, and that's how it got there. I don't know if you've ever had an experience like that as well.
I'm the sister.
Yeah. Well, no, I'll do that too.
Yeah. So you're also the
My
sister?
stories take a long time, but then I'll also find that I'll sometimes want to like cut somebody off in the middle of them telling a story because I think I've anticipated where the next bit of the story is going to go. Get impatient. Just like, oh yeah, and then this happened. And they're like, no.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Me and my siblings do the same thing with my sisters sometimes, and it does make them feel unheard. Sometimes a little bit. I wonder if there's something, maybe it's because of how noisy we are inside our own heads while we are communicating, that we end up doing that, where we're spiraling so much out in our minds that we want to almost like complete the point of it.
I've noticed whenever I get into my chitter chatters sometimes that like I'm actively processing the thing that I'm saying as I'm saying it, right? And we can do that kind of in our brains too, like we're actively processing. Like there's so much that can process before it actually comes out if we let it. I feel like that's the directing of your thought kind of thing, is like allowing it to process and filtering out the thoughts that it's like, oh, that doesn't actually align with the way that I feel about this thing, does it? You know, it takes time for those thoughts to mature, right?
Yeah, it can feel good to be like heard, and you're allowed to go through that process too.
That too.
Not have to have the exact full point of what you're trying to say right at the get-go, but kind of be allowed to discover it.
Right.
Have the other person actually care enough to see what it is you're going through and just hold space for you in that moment. I feel like that is such a beautiful example of what noiseless communication could be, right? Instead of just, okay, I'm waiting for my turn to make noises while I'm going to let this person process fully.
Holding space for someone to process is very important.
Yeah, like really listening.
Because like something that I notice whenever I'm chitter-chattering a lot, right, processing out loud, is that I'm also multitasking in the way that I'm hearing it from the point of view to the other person, right? That's something that I'm like multitasking. I'm like, oh, I'm saying this thing. How do they perceive this thing that I'm saying? How do I make it clearer for them to understand?
Listening through their ears.
And so listening through their ears, yeah, exactly. In the way that's like, oh, now I've processed it differently because I'm looking at it through the lens of somebody else or my perception of somebody else.
I've even had moments where something that would almost like be okay for me to say in my own mind starts becoming verbalized, and then it's as you said, I start hearing it through the ears of another person, and I'll stop myself mid-sentence where I'm like, maybe I should say that in a different way considering their sensitivities.
Right, exactly.
We do have Connor here and a few other friends as well. Bless you.
Sup, Tunes?
Connor says, "What's up, Melton crew?" Hey, Connor. Was Connor our band friend as well? I think he might have been.
Totally, yeah, he was on our band.
Yeah.
Our band buds.
He went and studied animation, I believe.
Oh, hell yeah.
And he finished his degree, and he's now working, I believe. Bless you, bro. How you doing? Tell us, Connor. He says, "I'm redeemed one."
Received.
What a cool username. Hey, and Mad Zen. I was telling you about Mad Zen today. It's nice having you here too, little homes. Sending you bless, the redeemed one. I had a moment with our host at Jumanji where I basically confirmed with him that we'll be there soon, and then he sends me a message, something like, oh, he'll have everything sorted, and then I send a message, bless. Maybe I should pull that up. It was like a strange, how far is Jumanji down? Goodness, is it that far down? There it is. Yeah. So I'm like, I'll send you more exact details closer to the time, but don't worry, all will be taken care of. I'm like, bless, thank you, Zane. Looking forward to getting to know the space better this time with extra days. And then he sends me a dictionary entry. The origin of the word blessed. Etymology. The word blessed is derived from Old English words like bletzian and blotzian, Proto-Germanic roots. These terms evolved from Proto-Germanic word blodan, meaning blood. Original meaning, the original sense, was to hallow with blood or consecrate. Consecrate
yeah.
with blood. And I'm like, oh, bro.
Just the words that are like popping out on this right now.
Right.
Is kind of
And then the next
aggressive
connection to blood sacrifice. Pagan rituals. The word's meaning is rooted in ancient Germanic and Anglo-Saxon pagan traditions where blood was used in religious rites. Sacrificial custom. It is described to practice of consecrating altars or people by marking them with sacrificial blood.
What in the world?
And I'm like,
It's kind of funny.
It's like, the truth, he says.
Yeah,
Bro.
So this bro, like he sent like he had a thing on his status where a guy goes, money is dead. You know, like he basically has this whole little speech he does. I don't even know if it probably won't be available. I can't click on it anymore. But it was this 13-second video of a guy basically just running down the list of we're living in an illusion, right? And I go, bro. And then he say, it's the truth. And then I answered the photo, and the more you know, we all bleed red after all. Life force flows through and hollows where we walk.
The less you know.
Yeah, these answers, the less you know.
This is such an awkward.
Right.
What in the world?
Very-
like,
he's
he
very
really came
spicy.
in hot.
It's
Yeah.
spicy, and then I'm like trying to almost diffuse the whole situation, and then it's the truth, and me having been through that journey, you know, of that information, kind of like thinking,
Yeah.
like been 8 years for me, you know, and then I make sure, yeah, we'll connect properly, and he's like, I'll make sure. I'll
Oh,
ensure your
dear.
stay is perfect.
He's like at once very sweet and also like blessed, but do you really know what you're
Do you
saying?
know what you're saying? Are you trying to consecrate me with blood?
Yeah.
How dare you?
Oh, goodness.
It feels very much on my frequency of tisms. I get it. You know,
Sam,
I'm gonna have a conversation with him too. And noiseless communication. I knew Sam was gonna say something. It's like, what do you mean, no? You can't communicate without making noises. Is that true? You see, I prepared her. I know there's no thickery. Yeah, I do that, but I get talked to all the time about passive aggression and how I can use my words You see, that's true, Sam. I think the point that we were trying to make, and it's beautiful that you bring us to that perspective, is that instead of communicating, right, or not communicating in that noiseless way, right, we're talking more about being able to communicate without introducing any more noise, right? And I've noticed this in my own journey as well, where sometimes I'll say extra things. Like I'm trying to get a point across, but in the process of getting the point across, I'm saying extra things that adds extra open ends that the person can latch on to or think about or say something about. And that's where the noise comes in, right? And in that way, maybe that is passive aggressiveness sometimes, right? Is that passive aggressiveness?
I noticed that I become passive aggressive, like if I'm at work and I'll get stressed out over something. Usually it's somebody in the kitchen criticizing how I'm doing my job or something in that nature. Then I'll do the same thing where I'll go quiet and kind of like give people the silent treatment as a way to like, I think it's like I'm afraid that if I say anything in that moment, it'll be angry, but I'll still give that same angry energy in my silence. And then, you know, if I'm on my shit, I'll just like take a beat, take a breath and just kind of reset and try to drop the shit and then come back and like look people in the eye and talk to them, you know, like as if I'm still in the room. But yeah, that kind of like passive aggressive, it feels gross, but I notice that I'll go there too. As a way of like, I don't know how to deal with this anger, so I'm just going to shut down.
Right. I agree. I mean, I feel like I'm very much so that way. That was kind of what I was talking about yesterday with the whole, like, when it comes to, like, dissolving that feeling of aggression within before expressing it. It does come out. It probably comes out in, like, furrowed up eyebrows or just kind of, like, quietness, right? It takes a lot of energy to quiet down and not say anything in the height of emotion that's buzzing within you, especially whenever something like, say, rubbed you the wrong way or triggered is a good word.
You know, my mind's almost going down this rabbit hole of the whole telepathy tapes thing. We had a conversation that you suggested with the birth of your little nephew, how everybody in that room has their own mental space going on. And there is some sort of interlap with how we feel each other's mental space. In a way, when people get silent in that anger, they might be silent with their mouth, but they're even louder up there in their minds.
Yeah.
Right. And I think people, without knowing it, can pick up on that communication
Absolutely.
too.
It comes out. It does come out. That's why it's so important to do the work to dissolve it and resolve it within ourselves. That's that whole forgiveness thing. The forgiveness being for the self. You have to kind of resolve everything within yourself because it does come out in ways that we don't realize. We don't see our face whenever we're feeling. Often we're just feeling. We're not.
Yeah, you can't really elicit the feeling of deep contemplation in yourself, looking at yourself in the mirror kind of thing.
Right. And that's always an interesting experiment too, is to look at yourself in the mirror when you're feeling. That's an interesting experiment.
I'll have people tell me sometimes that, like, what's wrong? Like your face is like.
It's like, oh, I didn't even
So
notice.
yeah, you look upset. I won't have noticed that I was upset.
Yeah. Right.
It's interesting sometimes.
Our body wants to communicate.
Yeah, and sometimes like you got to be listening to like pick up on that silent cue, you know. I was thinking too about like that's why texting is so awkward because you're not really getting the silent clues, and then in your mind you have to like imagine what the subtext is to that. Like, did they text that with a tone, or am I reading into that?
Yeah.
Because I think emojis do help a little bit with that.
Sure, but is that a sarcastic smiley face? Or what?
Is that a passive aggressive smiley face?
Yeah.
End of the day, we just have like 3 strings of emojis that again add a whole new layer of confusion.
Sometimes I'll have to like can we just have this conversation in person and not text?
You are definitely a calling kind of person.
Hear the like. I mean, you can get so many cues in the sound of somebody's voice for sure.
Yeah, and like how sometimes you want to have a conversation there's kind of like 3 things floating at the same time. And voice to voice, that's easier to track than on text. When you're like, this thread is connecting to this thread.
Right.
And then there can be a disconnect as well if you try and reply with voice to text.
Yeah.
Because you'll miss some of the key points that might
Things
be
fall away.
Oh,
important.
totally.
Yeah. Yeah, in-person communication. I have a friend, Adam. Like, I love him so much. He almost refuses to communicate on the cell phone because of that. Where he believes that the only authentic person-to-person connection is when you're in person.
Right.
And
Not even over the phone.
Yeah, over the phone, it's like you're debasing the relationship. I don't know if that's exactly the words he would use. He is a scientist, well, chemist technically, but it is a fractal where I really do miss him, but I know for a fact that when we do find the time to be together in the same space, we're not going to let that not having the phone communications get in the way of, what we can have in that moment.
Yeah.
Meltfest 2026.
Yeah, right. I saw that.
Thanks, Connor. Yeah, this is
Dude,
mini
It
Meltfest.
is.
It's actually
Yeah, I haven't even been playing any Psytrons really.
Well,
Maybe a couple mornings ago.
Couple mornings ago, yeah.
Leaving your folks' house. I was like, oh, right.
like first thing in the
Wake
morning,
up.
like 8 a.m.
I was really in a state of like I need to get stuff packed and I need something pushing me forward.
It was pushing all of us forward.
Push
So
me.
much so that we left like stuff behind.
We left one
That's
bottle
true.
and I had a toothbrush and toothpaste.
Which I have replaced.
I see.
Yeah.
The bottle's gonna be a little bit harder, but at least we know where it is. Part of me feels like there's gonna be a synchronicity where it will find us again.
Yeah.
Universe willing.
I see it happening.
I'm looking forward to it. Suddenly I come back to chat and Connor is like, I almost got stabbed and my car got hit by a lady in a Tesla, but it balances out with the good times.
My car got hit by a
Oh,
lady.
man.
Connor, how things are going, and he's like, I'm doing well,
Crazy.
just on the grind at the moment. Been big city living, so it's fun and hectic for a country boy, but I'm blessed. And the almost got stabbed thing. All this
Yeah.
Oh my
happened this
gosh.
week. I can't wait
Who's-
for the America link up though. Yeah.
Soon.
Yeah,
Coming.
He wants to come and
Soon.
visit us too.
2026 for sure,
pipeline.
dude.
Uh,
Like for real.
It's gonna be fun. I want to meet as many of you friends as you'll allow me
He
to.
lives close too.
Mm.
Yeah, like
What
6
city
hours.
is Connor in?
I'm not sure the city. I know that. I know
What
without
city you in?
doxing, it's like
Oh, yeah. Well, you don't have to tell
without
us.
doxing
The
him, I know that
city
he's
is-
6 hours away from me.
This
I
is
was
About
just interested in the city.
somewhere
So-
between 6
Just moved
and
to the
10
city.
hours.
Well, I hope you're enjoying it.
Yeah, I mean, you've lived in a kind of like big city.
I
for
moved
like
from the country to the city as well. I
Okay.
moved back in 2014 to the East Bay, and I really enjoy it. It took about maybe 5 or 6 years for it to really feel like home,
Mm.
but then it really started to feel like home to the point where nowhere else in the country feels like home.
Yeah.
What is it
When I-
exactly about this space? that gives you
Well,
that
we were
feeling?
talking about it being cosmopolitan.
Yeah,
Mm.
It feels very diverse.
it is for everyone thing. Right?
Yeah, it feels like everybody's on the same ground. Everybody's walking in the same place. Obviously, we are walking in the same place, but it really does feel unified,
Yeah.
like I don't find in most other places. Yeah, and it also feels like a small town the longer I stay there.
And the more you get familiar with the space.
Yeah, you see the same people, you run into people that you worked with at this other job that you had, and now everybody's working over here, and yeah, things like that. And like where I live too in the East Bay, people will you can just kind of stop and talk to people on the street. Or like if I was in line at the post office and just struck up a conversation that was, with somebody that was in line next to me. And it's intergenerational, very diverse people all over the world. Yeah,
Like
I dig it.
we had a conversation with a man named Grant last night.
He was a trip.
Where the restaurant that we ate at, he's the owner of it, and you can just see, he was like, this might be derogatory, but he was like a bag full of stories walking around, and he just had so much to tell us, and like he was standing with us, and we invited him to sit down with us as well, and he told us stories about his young days and climbing Kilimanjaro, and learning lessons the hard way. Was a beautiful man, and one of the things that he said is how the world is becoming more cosmopolitan, and it is one of those things where you nod your head, but I didn't exactly know what that meant. And on the way back, we had a conversation with Aaron about a cosmopolitan world and how it is supposed to be one that's for everyone, and South Africa definitely has that element. We have 11 official languages, right? So in that way, there is so many different people here that do live amongst each other and realize that we are all way more alike than we are different, technically. And I mean, the fact that that exists in America is a hope for the rest of it as well, you know? Like it's.
Yeah, the world's becoming smaller was something that he said too, and that's
Mm.
like definitely feels that way. This is my first time in another country, having flown all the way across the world to get here, and a lot of things seem very familiar. Like the world is just one
I
big
had
place.
that conversation with your dad actually about how like it's wild to come here, a place where like, oh look, there's an ostrich running around over there. That's a rhino.
A
Oh my goodness, look at
rhinoceros.
that
Lekavon.
Lekavon.
A monitor
Joy
lizard.
lizard. Like how many critters have we seen? It's like, oh, I didn't expect to see the monkeys running around picking the mulberry trees this morning. But at the same time, I'm looking around and also seeing like what I think was poison ivy today and stuff that I'm able to identify at home, certain bugs. Um, you know, and your dad saying that he had traveled most continents, but two.
Europe and Australia.
Australia and
South America.
South America
Yeah.
and
And
Australia. And
Australia.
he's gonna go to South America soon.
Is he
so
really?
he's
Oh
gonna go
wow,
to
he gets to
Colombia.
knock one off the list.
Exactly.
Nice.
Yeah.
But he said that his experience with all of the world, it's like, yeah, it's all gonna look the same. It's all familiar. You're gonna experience this sameness.
Mm-hmm.
We're all walking on the same ground, right? It's just different perspectives.
Different
you're-
cultures.
different
attached
cultures.
To the same stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, but we're gonna see the similarities, just in the ways of being is gonna be different.
Thinking
Like,
about the conversation we had on the road here as well, how the first time you were here, I was almost saying that I don't think you're gonna have as much culture shock as you might think you would. And
yeah,
she did end up having culture shock, but very little of it was the actual environment
Yeah.
shocking her.
Mhm.
It was more the way people do things and the way we live in the same environments. You know, like here in South Africa, rules are a little bit fast and loose.
yeah. Aaron gets to experience melt driving. That's been fun.
Oh my god.
I've never been in a crash.
That's
I've never been in a crash. I've driven a little bit over 100,000 miles.
But everybody I noticed does drive like they understand. They're all connected in their own
Exactly,
way.
like they know where they're going.
Yeah.
Yeah, there are a lot of potholes.
A lot.
And the roads are narrow, so often when you're overtaking, you're going into the oncoming traffic lane to overtake, and there might be a car coming on that lane as
There
well.
might
That's
be
been
a
exciting.
pothole on that side as
Yeah,
well.
and then there might be a pothole at the same time.
It's like the lines on the road are just kind of guidelines. You don't have to follow
Yeah,
them.
the lines are very much a suggestion.
Okay. And but the most fun was when we're driving at night, and the lane ends, but the signage is a little confusing. So
The signage is kind of
there was a moment where we drove into just the shoulder.
Yeah.
Before we realized that the lane is.
The lane was coming, and so like as he
That was
said, like
exciting,
literally, it like splits out and it shows an arrow, but the arrow basically points at a little side skirt, not an actual road, right? So it looks like you can merge into the road, and then
driving
there's
off
just
the
no
road.
more road.
Stops being a road.
afterwards. And this was at night, and we have our high beams off because there's people coming from the front, so you can only see like 10 meters in front of yourself.
I just kept thinking, Melt knows what he's doing.
Melt is fine.
This
Yeah.
is fine.
Melt is just as stressed as everyone else in the car.
Ultimately, everything was fine.
Yeah.
Ultimately, we're here now.
The universe keeps us safe. You know, I believe in this. We can do the best we can do is not to assume. It's true. Mad Zen. My mom has literally driven the point into my mind of like, when you assume, you make an ass out of you and me.
That's a pretty universal
Spell
one.
it.
Right? That one is really seeped in deep. Language is powerful.
It's funny that your mom uses that even in Afrikaans.
Yep.
She doesn't
Exactly.
speak much English, does she?
She doesn't speak much English.
Yeah.
But you heard her try.
But she knows that phrase.
She did really well. She was telling us stories. and
Yeah.
stuff in English, yeah.
Like
Yeah.
she, I think, is one of those things where she's also so insecure about being judged for not being completely articulate in all she wants to say. And you'll see her sometimes like asking for a word,
Mhm.
and she hates that. Like my mom is usually the lady that like knows how to do stuff, right? So it's one of those things. Remember me, Jacob Sternslin, of course, that friend from the other stream, right? I'm. It's nice having you here. I did say I'll keep saying your name, and the more times you give me things to remember, the less likely I am to forget.
What's your favorite color?
I like instantly I saw his whole emoji is very orange. I like orange.
What's your favorite animal?
Let us know.
What's your favorite animal's color? That's pretty
more links. Sam also says
hard shell taco or soft shell taco. That's always a good one.
What's the other one that we actually bring into stream? You like monkeys, meerkats, or lions? If you, like Sam actually said, it depends on what you consider God. The Book of Psalms talks about the divine council, the minor gods and goddesses give charge over humanity. Then there's Big Cheese opinions there. I believe if there is, what's the word you used? Goddess and goddesses that given charge over humanity. I would like to fight whoever has charge over me. I challenge you. No, must be I'm in charge. I don't believe any of that, Sam. None of that is in my vocabulary of like, oh yeah, there's something in charge. There's something in charge, needs to do a better job. We human beings have really, I feel at least, like try to steer our behavior right, like trying to convince ourselves that there is, layers. I believe in the whole as above so below, but I don't believe in a hierarchy in that necessarily, right? It's more ego trip where you think you are. Like where we are, if you think about it from a matter universe perspective, we're enormous. We're absolutely gigantic, like actual giants on this plane. But then you look out and you realize we're on a planet and you're like this little organism. Microscopic organism in comparison. And then you're like, oh, the Earth must be big. And then again, the perspective of the Earth is a microscopic little organism in just a galaxy. And then the galaxy microscopic in the vastness of space. So in that way, like it is as above, so below in that kind of like layered way. But how we as egos apply that wisdom to ourselves, again, is a kind of communication with the universe, right? Where I believe that the way that we as a species should communicate with the universe is in putting life in more of these places, right? Literally, as Grant said, making the universe smaller. In the same way we've made the Earth smaller to ourselves as well. And maybe this is again why I'm so a stickler for this point, is because I believe as soon as you believe there's some sort of like God or gods in charge over us, then we don't take charge of that kind of responsibility, right? And it's which comes first. Oh, you two friends have anything on that?
Big question. Do you believe in a God? I think it's like, personally, I don't think about it that way necessarily, but I have a spiritual practice and definitely believe that there's like no separation between anything, and that there's like a limited way that I can operate with like my ego being in charge, and then there's a kind of surrender to a greater unknown connection to spirit kind of thing. That's kind of like the terms that I would talk about it in. But then for people like my family, like my folks are very religious, my sister and her husband, and for them, like their belief in God does a lot for them.
Yeah.
And I think I've come to a place of just like respecting that other people have their own connection to whatever spirit source, that I would kind of call it those names, but other people have a connection to that's kind of more in the framework of a like a single deity God, or like a Trinity kind of Judeo-Christian idea of God. And I'm less bothered with it now. Personally, it doesn't do a lot for me to think about things in those terms. However, because I was raised that way, I'm kind of used to praying that way, and sometimes will still pray that way. As if I'm praying to a God, I kind of know that I'm just praying to what is without really needing to define it. But sometimes I'll find myself praying in the old style. So I kind of still interface with it on one level.
I would love to hear Joe's answer to that as well, but the first question that came to my mind is, have you had a direct experience with what we call God yourself?
Yeah, all the time.
You see, like
All the time.
that's the thing, and I everyone I ask that question says that to me as well, right? And I feel like that's why people that get so committed to religion, and especially the Trinity one, right, which is has this whole story attached to it, it gives you the interface to almost like have those God connecting moments, right? Like church and prayer and singing together, all of those practices do induce states of connecting with God, right? And it's as you said, even though that version didn't work for you, you still found that in your life anyway. And I found that in my life anyway. And I'm sure Joe just yesterday found it in her life as well. You know, she meditated a little bit. And it is one of those things where every single person tries to articulate it to themselves in some way and wants to share that God experience with other people. And to some, they like the predefined, I get to read this thing, understand these stories, and then I can, you know, give that book to you. You get to read this thing, understand those stories, and then we can look at each other and believe that there is some sort of like synchronicity in what we believe God is. Like my favorite quote is, "Religion is when a bunch of people come together and believe." Uh, when a bunch of people come together on a belief of what God is, where spirituality is the pursuit of what God is.
Yeah, so maybe there's a little bit more of like a discovery implied in somebody that would say that they're spiritual rather than being religious.
Exactly.
Religious is more like an adherence to a tradition and a culture, which is just, I don't know, ultimately it's valuable to you as much as it's valuable to you.
Yeah.
You know, so that's kind of how I look at that.
And you too, Joe? Like you did grow up in a very traditional Orthodox world, right? But I remember you telling me about like the school not letting you into freaking Bible class and stuff like that.
Yeah, well, it's not that they necessarily didn't let me. I just wasn't in. I wasn't Catholic, so like I wasn't included into certain classes that they're being held. They'd be like, what do we do with the kids that are not Catholic? I don't know. Let them sit down and watch The Nightmare Before Christmas, and that's why I'm weird.
So you weren't baptized.
No, yeah, but I grew up in a Catholic like community. But my thoughts on it are like, I don't know, there's so many ways that people practice religion and everything. It's when you take the spirituality out of religion is whenever it becomes a bad thing.
Exactly.
A spiritual pursuit is, each person's going to have their own spiritual pursuit and it's going to work for them. It's funny because I think that the reason why you and your dad kind of like butt heads so hard is because you're doing the exact same thing. You're like, no, my spiritual pursuit's right. And he's like, no, mine is. And you guys just butt heads.
And I keep going, Dad, if somebody is teaching you how to spiritual pursue, they don't know what they're talking about. Nobody knows what they're talking about. And you need to figure that out. It's true. You're so right, Joe. You're perfectly right.
Aesop Rock. He's got something about, he had like a problem with sermonizing tolerance while looking for a ministry to pretzel. It's like, I'm trying to like say that people need to be tolerant, but not you. You know, sometimes like you need, that's wrong. Rip.
Okay, I will not tolerate this at all. I cannot. And it's true. It's true. I can be a very, like a stick in the mud.
I think that you're right in the way that Christianity does work for some people. They always say that like the pursuit of God is like, well, I don't know if you said that directly, but like that's kind of how I interpret it. But like the pursuit of like God or the divine or source or whatever it is that you do believe in, right? They say it's like this thing that we're all like this higher power, right? But we're all looking at it from like a different angle as long as we are pursuing like the thing that's true, like the thing.
My mom said it this way, where it's like she was, raised to be a little bit more new agey. Okay. And so she was being asked to like meditate and kind of, open herself to this experience of emptiness, which is very similar to the pursuit that I was on when I was exploring meditation after my Christianity experience. And in her pursuit of emptiness, she just found more emptiness, and then it was like terrifying. The emptiness was terrifying, and that's where she found God. She says those are like her words.
You see,
God kind of like filled that space for her. And I was hearing her say this and was just like, yeah, emptiness, yeah.
That's a good thing.
Because when I experienced the emptiness is when I kind of found like got in touch with myself you know,
So,
or like my higher self.
It's interesting that you say that. Remember like that book David Data's The Way of
Oh
the
yeah.
Superior Man? One of the things that he really harps on a lot is the masculine need to feel that emptiness.
That's very interesting.
And
He does bring in the
right? And the feminine
male.
need. Was it you who recommended that book to me?
It was.
Really?
Suddenly I
why.
make that connection.
Yeah, probably
Dude.
around the first year we met.
Yeah, literally.
Because I reread it at that time.
Dude.
I also had a girlfriend that had some problems with that book. So take it with a grain of salt.
Yeah, exactly. I want to actually listen to it with Siobhan, you know, so she can help me process it a little bit in that way as well. But the other side of it is that the feminine seeks that fullness, right?
Yeah.
Like the dichotomy where there is this almost like balancing between these two, you know, like polarities. And it's not about like man and woman. It's about the kind of like polarities that you identify with and like what you need in another person. And you mentioning that emptiness, it's something in me as well, right? Like that feeling of contentment where there's nothing calling for you. There's nothing almost like spinning the engine up. You just get to like have the tank empty, standing still, and being in that space.
And it kind of has this quality for me too, where it's like when you like stop looking for yourself outside of yourself, and then you find yourself within yourself. You know, that was kind of the experience that I had. But again, you know, my mom had the same experience, and it was totally fear, and she found God, and for her it was the Christian God. And so, you know, for me to say that the thing that saved her from her fear of existing is somehow a problem, it's like, who am I to say that? You know,
it's
Right.
again the whole
that's working for you.
As long as it works and as long as somebody is headed towards their best self, right?
Yeah.
And it makes them feel the love that they need to feel. Love is the thing, right?
I was reading somewhere down the chat, someone was saying, God is light, light is truth, truth is love, love is God.
That's beautiful.
Yeah.
And
I think that's pretty universal, and I think everybody that has some sort of draw towards connecting with God or spirit is kind of drawn towards the same thing ultimately. You know, it just gets understood differently by different people.
The lenses thing, like even literally the reality that all of us are looking at right now is a different reality, right? And in that way, this concept of God is going to technically be a little bit different to each and every single one of us, right? It's almost like the hole that we think we have in ourselves is filled differently by that light, you know. And I believe even the human body, it should be seen as a lens, and that light is inside of you, and then the way that it shines through you is your body's expression into this world, right? Like you're casting shadows, I am receiving and bouncing off light.
Something that we all had talked about is how we can all be in the exact same space, having a totally different experience and needing different things. Like that's the thing, is like we're all having a different experience and needing different things, even though we're in the same space experiencing the same stuff.
All of us have access to the same stuff, the resources.
So what works for some people works for them. We need to trust that they're going to do the right thing, but also react with them lovingly, you know, interact with them lovingly, I think.
I'm thinking about like what each of us are getting from this space right now as like a riff on that. What do you get from this space?
Right here, right now?
Yeah.
Oh, it's good conversation. It's a good thing to explore. It's unifying, right?
I was getting some self-consciousness for a second, because I was like, somehow this conversation turned into a conversation about God, and we're not talking about what we titled it to be talking about.
Noiseless communication, right? And it's so beautiful that you say that.
Because we were making noise.
Exactly. With the God conversation, it's just infinite noise. And didn't we talk about that like a few days ago, where you mentioned like the fact that like I think the topic was like the rapture, right?
Oh,
and
right.
how people in religion have been talking about the rapture and how they think it's gonna happen.
Yeah. Like
so
it's kind of like funny that you'll have all these types of different Christians talking about exactly how they think the rapture is going to go down.
Sometimes even when.
When did it happen? Did it already happen in 40 AD? Was it describing that event, or is it describing an event in the future? And like who's going to be taken when? And
Are you ready to be taken or not?
It was kind of like funny if you kind of take a step back. You're like, wow, all these people are arguing about some very particular thing about their belief
So imagine
system.
like if aliens had to come to our planet and then like listen to all of the human chatter and like 10, let's say look more conservative, 1% of all conversations is about this obscure topic. And to be honest, like me and Christian were even talking about that day where it was again Rapture Day. And we were like the kind we're messed up people. So we were walking around wishing people happy Rapture Day.
Oh,
yeah.
oh no.
Happy Rapture Day.
Yeah. Rubbing their face in it. Still here, eh?
Still here. Like we were even joking about like if it happens, first thing, because we would of course be left behind. First thing we do is we go to all of the rich Christians' homes and when we take their Ferraris.
Yeah.
We're gonna drive around in Ferraris for the last 7 years of suffering.
Yeah.
Very
So
least.
things get real heated.
Like, bro, I don't know if you've read that part of the Bible, like with the amount of monsters that they're sending our way.
Yeah.
That part, my dad like played those tapes to us in the car when I was like 8 to 11 years
Oh,
old.
that's exhausting when you're like, ooh, that's too
I
young
was
to
like
try
this,
to
I was
comprehend.
like, what am
That's-
I didn't get to
7
watch
years?
all the TV shows, but I did get to see the Left Behind series. Kirk Cameron was the lead star in that movie. Yeah.
Oh, where it's like after the rapture they show you.
Yeah.
Dude.
It's
That's wild.
like very like espionage kind of.
Yeah, I
Like,
think I might have seen that as well, where they're like
hidden-
on the plane and there's like some
Yeah,
some
and they had
sketchy stuff happening.
Yeah, they're like in Israel at some point, and they're like, there's like a whole running around corners shooting people bombs or and the Antichrist, of course.
Of course.
Yeah.
Key part of it. And like, dude,
very
that's
exciting.
That's another thing as well with the amount of predicting who the Antichrist is or is going to be.
All the noise.
There's so much noise. The more you think about it, the more you realize. I did give the broad perspective, Sam, and this is he, natural, he, masculine, male, she, feminine, it. Thank you. Maybe we missed some
I
context.
think we missed some.
Yeah, okay.
Are you on
Do
all
you-
messages?
I think I did switch it to all messages.
No. Oh, oops.
But there's not
No, we
much more
missed.
that showed up. I think this was the message. Do you believe that there is some type of God? He.
Oh.
I believe that if there's a God, it's more like a they than it is a he or a she, right? Like it's a very human thing to assume that there has to be penis or vagina. Like it
Yeah,
is
that is
polarity, but I think what God is more like a unity. It's the holding of all of that duality, in like non-separation, to say it in such a word. Like the infinity symbol is such a beautiful symbol to me because it is something that goes on forever and it is two poles of something, but it is a singular, connected like Mobius strip kind of a. Have you seen those Mobius strips where they have like
Yeah.
a super cool magnet and then
No.
dude, it's awesome. So like they have these little pegs that hold onto it, and then it's a Mobius strip that folds onto itself.
Mhm.
So and then they super cool magnet puck,
Okay.
and then they have that entire Mobius strip covered in magnets as well.
Okay.
And then it floats off of it instead of touching it.
Oh,
and then they
yeah.
spin that puck and it goes all the way around, and then it goes above the Mobius strip, and then it goes all the way around and it's below the Mobius strip.
Yeah.
And it's just this like, this universe has interesting rules. Like that you can like show it right in front of yourself, and it still doesn't really make conceptually sense that much. It's like, why does it work that way? Super cool magnets, and then suddenly it floats off of another magnet. We've already perfected levitation. It's just expensive. I would like to fight whoever is in charge over me. They're probably dead. A lot of them got involved in the whole Roman stabby method of internal communication. The gods came down and got killed. That's hardcore. I like Headed back to the home country. Bless you. I got to fix my car, but I'd like to plan something soon. Enjoy the weekend, Melty, Joe, and Aaron. You deserve it. Thank you, Connor. Bless you, bro. Leaving with this: God is light, light is truth. There it is. Truth is love, love is God. Exactly. If one looks at the 10 Commandments, excluding the 2 about who real Slim Shady is, how you best not be disrespecting his name. The other 8 are the yogic ethics and restraints. Like I've again,
eight-legged path.
interesting.
it's
Is that the
wisdom.
Eightfold Path?
Yeah, the Eightfold Path, exactly. And that's those 2 little extra rules because again, religion. It's like you better not. no other gods but me.
Uh-huh,
I'm the
yeah.
only god.
I don't know. There's just so many different ways that people practice religion. So to say
But that's
religion is,
but
there are
no. I'm
definitely
saying specifically that Ten Commandment rule.
Mm.
The literal rule is you may not take any other god than me. So in that way, it's like a hard, no other religions, only our religion is the right one because God said so in the Ten Commandments. Our God said so, right? And that's where it gets a little bit, what's the word? Like we investigated ourselves and found ourselves to be not guilty, kind of.
Mm. A lot of the Abrahamic religions have that kind of sense of our way is the only right way.
Yeah. The way we practice religion is universal, yes. And when we strip away the culture signifiers, when we strip away the culture signifiers, it's true. Someone isn't watching South Park if they're asking about the Antichrist. Now, I don't actually watch South Park, strangely enough. I've not seen a single episode of South Park.
I've seen a handful.
Yeah, I've heard good
Very
things,
popular.
but I think the reason I never got into it is because I was already in the world when like anime was a proper thing. And then I started watching anime first as my animated kind of like introduction. And then when South Park got introduced, the art style just didn't jive with what I was kind of like used to or expecting from my media.
I had a bit of like The Simpsons. The jokes felt smarter.
Yeah.
And South Park, the jokes felt very crass.
Exactly.
Occasionally they'll come out with some good satire, but it all feels a little like on the nose.
Worth
you know?
Worth it in
Have
that
you
way or
seen
bad?
how SNL do like cut out skits? Like what they do is they'll turn in their stuff so last minute. They'll have like a lot that's cut out and so much that's filmed. And so they know exactly how many curse words and how many like things are allowed, right? And they'll cut it out to where the legal team or the people that are watching it don't have enough time to review it.
Oh,
so
that's
how they
hilarious.
slip stuff under. That's how Saturday Night Live started, like in the beginning, even.
I think they even had like a movie.
I believe.
I think they had a movie recently, like they showed those.
It's good.
Episodes.
It's actually a really
I think
good
I watched
movie.
that one too.
It
It's
was,
very
Saturday Night. It's
very
called Saturday
very
Night.
fast paced. You know, like I would lose my mind in an environment like that probably if I didn't get used to it first.
Yeah. Oh, my sister got to see the set of Saturday Night Live. Like, go to New York and like stand in line at 7 o'clock in the morning. It's like kind of first come, first serve.
Was that with her comedian Fractal stuff?
It was a vacation thing that her and her husband took.
That's awesome.
Yeah, but yeah, they have these great big props and everything's moving the whole time. And there's a lot of stuff that gets cut out there at the very end. They do record it live in front of a live studio audience. And
so if you want to watch Saturday Night Live, you should go and watch it live, kind of thing.
Oh man, seeing it live would be something. That's like a bucket list. That's a thing that like would completely change your perspective on the way
the
entertainment works, right? Theater, you know,
it is a
productions.
Lot. Like, and one of my favorite like cultural moments is the Dear Sister video from SNL. Right? Have you seen that?
Dear Sister, is that with the sisters where like
what you say?
With Shia LaBeouf and Andy Samberg.
Yes.
They just shoot each other.
It's like so deeply ingrained in my spirit to where like if I see a friend go through like suddenly a shock moment, you know, like shock is like what you say,
and then something else happens in it.
Exactly, just like the reference.
It's funny. My Saturday night memories bring me back to Chris Farley being on Saturday Night Live in the 90s and just dying.
Chris Farley was always the best when he would like never break character, but he would make everybody else break character.
Just so animated.
Right.
Alive.
The dynamics between like the people too, like that was the thing is like they would try to make each other laugh, you know. They were buddies, they worked together. It was a work environment, so
I should make the most of
they're writers for the scripts, you know. They're improving as well. Like they'll go off the script and it's recorded live, so if it works, you know.
He had that way of like everybody's kind of coming in at like a 5 or a 6, you know, at the beginning of the sketch, and he's already at a 10.
Yeah,
you know, just screaming.
Yeah.
So funny.
Oh, Chris Farley was great.
Another guy that like feels like he had a lot to prove by like being so funny all the time, you know, but it kind of came from a place of like
validation,
not being able to just be quiet and be himself. You know?
Yeah.
So in a way, it's kind of sad.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's one of those things where you know, in his mind as well. Like I find this with pretty much everyone, and we talked a little bit about that insecurity. Is that we don't see ourselves the way other people see us, you know, and like you can do so much and still you will, you know, not feel enough. Like before our trip, my intention was reminding myself I am enough. I am.
Totally.
I am already enough because I also have that performer in me. All right, like you've seen it.
Same.
It's like it's relentless. I promised Christmas. Hey, but Destiny couldn't wait. Moon Knight is back.
Hey, Moon
Moon
Knight,
Knight
dude.
was like, I'll be
Oh my
back in 2
goodness. Sup,
years or
Moon
something like
Knight?
that. I'm like, bet, I'll be here.
Hey, bud.
I'll wait for you. Hey, Moon Knight. It's nice having you, friend.
Back in action.
Sam also said, and Hoopy is here too. Bless your hoops.
Doopy-doo and
I've
dooby-doo
discovered
too.
I'm capable of generating positive feelings in my heart center. I'm happy that you've discovered this. Generate as much positive feelings as you can and then share them with other people.
Feel it now already, just mentioning it.
Bless you, bro. Thank
We
you.
are
Hoops.
energy alchemists. We can take energy in and turn it into something else.
Eat food, drink water, breathe air, and then you can share hugs and love and positive feelings with people. There should be no other gods than before me, leaves no room to acknowledge the lesser gods without pissing anybody off. Christianity just gets all in a high dungeon because they like to play the victim. Sam is even like from that Christian denomination.
Yeah.
She would probably still like in a conversation, maybe like call herself a Christian even.
Oh yeah, totally.
Yeah, but you know, the way that we apply that information is a little bit, you know, different to everybody, and I value you so much, Sam. We appreciate your perspective here. In his mind, seeing, I see you, Mel. I'm here. I'm reflecting light into your eyeballs. Well, technically into the camera, and then the camera is turning those pixels into information. Sending it to your phone right now. You might be seeing AI, right? We've been talking about that. Like is this AI literally since the early days of our stream, dude? I'm not even convinced it's not anymore. Feels
I
pretty
am.
surreal to me.
Yeah.
I'm doing good. Hope you're doing good. It's nice to have you here, friend. Study good. Dude, Melt, where are you? In the Amazon rainforest or something? We're in a place called Clivia Hill.
Drakensberger.
In the Drakensbergen. He's right. In South Africa. Is it KwaZulu Natal? I might be capping on that. I'm not exactly sure what the province is. Very far from home. For all of us, technically, but very close to home in the way that I shared last night or this morning about last night. When we had our meal, we each ordered something different, and there was a sharing kind of like dynamic where everybody let people taste what they had on their plates, you know, and that's something that I grew up as a family doing, right? And it felt very homely and nice. It was a blessing.
It's been a homey vibe. Dude, you guys were talking about AI in a different context, but I have a question for y'all. So a couple months ago, the United States bombed Iran.
Yep.
And I was
their
like, what
nuclear
the
fighting
actual
facility.
heck? And so I wanted to see like what was going on. I tried to look up some news on YouTube, and I was like, well, I want to see what Noam Chomsky has to say about this because I trust what he would have to say. And I wasn't sure if he'd said anything about it because it had only been like 2 days. He's like 90 years old. So I type in Noam Chomsky, Iran, 2025. And I get this whole hour-long video of him talking about it. But then halfway through the video, I realized that this is not Noam Chomsky.
Like
this is AI Noam
no.
Chomsky. And I had to really sit there and be like, well, what do I do with this information? Because it all sounded very good, just the way Noam Chomsky would say it. But is it just an AI imagining
what he would have
said without any real factual basis for anything?
You know,
So I just want to know if anybody else has experienced anything like that.
I see a lot of AI videos like that do stuff in the style of Carl Jung. I love Carl Jung.
Yeah,
Sure.
they like read his like seminars and stuff like that, you know.
Yeah.
Like I've watched a few of those where it's like AI narration of his work kind of thing, right?
Sure, yeah. But in the videos, it's like, I think the thing is that's important is how it does apply or how you can apply it to your situation and how you choose to apply that information. It's all kind of like a tool, right?
Yeah.
So like somebody telling you it's things, right? Anybody that's telling you things, you need to kind of like, people need to take that information and consider it and be like,
discern for yourself.
yeah, because like somebody can be a terrible person but still give advice in a certain area. It's like, oh, that does apply to what I believe is true, right?
The Carl Jung psychology might be a little more applicable, even if it's not coming from a person.
Exactly. Yeah.
right.
But the news about current events might
because you're
might
now
be a little bit less.
Exactly, I hear what you're saying
True.
because now you don't know. Maybe the
Current
person
events.
on the other
Trustworthy.
side of that prompt is like, do this in Noam Chomsky's thing, but lean towards this
Right.
side of
It
the
was all
conversation.
World War III.
You see,
It was all
Oh.
like, and World War III is about to spark off.
here we go, World War III,
It's like,
and then
well,
you're like in that state of
current
like, oh, I
events.
This
do,
gets clicks.
yeah, I do believe in this person, and I do want to absorb their information, and like again, there's someone on the other side profiting from your watch minutes. So that's where you should see it as well. Like as you said, this gets clicks. What's gonna keep an audience member hooked the longest so they can find out the information that's gonna save their life, kind of thing.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a wild world out here. That's why I do believe that actual human-made content is going to become more valuable, and we're going to have to figure out some sort of blockchain where you can see the actual line of progression of content, where if you don't know it's coming from an actual person, just add an extra layer of who's giving me this information and what is their motive to do so.
Yeah, especially with like the deep fake
Oh yeah,
potential.
and it's easy now. It's like it's as easy as falling out of a tree if you know which website to use. And again, you can search best deep faking website,
Yeah.
and then you can like upload Noam Chomsky's videos to it. You get yourself
I have to
something.
take a bathroom break.
That's okay. Thank you for joining us. There's a magnet on the inside. My hand might be
It has
cold,
been
but it's
like,
fine. There you
how
go.
long has it been?
Thank you for joining us in
Oh,
this
is your thing
conversation. It is on 5%.
Bless y'all.
We have been here for a whole hour, so we will be finishing up. Thank you for joining us, Aaron.
Thank you.
Oh, we can center ourselves up. My lower back is a little bit tight. Oh, what a conversation we've been having.
Lots of things.
Are we
I've
missing
missed
some?
so much.
Okay, Nancy's comment. We've read that one too. I promise Christmas. And mine, I see you. Dude, Melt, where are you in the Amazon rainforest? Yeah. Sam would call herself a Christian. These days I wouldn't. Christ wouldn't call himself a Christian. Yeah, he was a Jew, technically. I'm pretty sure.
How am I doing, Nancy? Doing good.
Love is true. Thank you for asking, friend. And neither would his disciples, so it doesn't feel right to me to either. I feel you, Sam. So much love in chat. Nothing wrong with the word itself. Sam, I'm making it feel right. I see your hearts being sent. Thank you for hearting us up. I'll go and show you my flower. And then we can finish up. Is there anything on your mind, Joe, that you would like to say still?
Love you, friends.
Yeah, that's nice. Ooh, it's one of my friends' birthday. I'm gonna call him.
What?
Let's call him right now. I just saw the notification.
I'm gonna go check the food.
Okay.
Love you, friends. Hi, Midnight. Yes, that is me. This is my Jovan.
That is Jovan, dude. Yeah. That's Joe. That's Joe Bot. Auntie Jovan, as you said. There's flour. Feast your eyes. Yes. And then I'll see if David will answer me. Might be busy. You back? The food good?
Smells good.
That smells nice. Joe is making adobo chicken. How dare he not answer me on his birthday? How dare he do anything other than wait on my beck and call? I'm joking, of course. Hey, David. Thinking about you, bro. Saw my notification, letting me know that it's your birthday. I do remember you telling me that you're going to be here in South Africa to celebrate. I'm thinking about you, dear friend. Sending you love. Hope it's a beautiful day for you. Dunzo. I showed you flour. You saw it, right? You saw me showing you flour. now show you out. Thank you for joining me. You're not in the shot properly. Across. Okay. Goodbye.
Bye, friends.
I wish I could throw the goodbye right into the screen. Turn it off. I'm really looking forward to your food.
Yeah,
I'm
cook
gonna.
that rice.
I was literally gonna say I now have to go cook some rice. So I'm gonna have a job. I know cook rice. I can. Must. It's nice to have you friends here with us. Moon Knight. And is that really on Sam? No, this is on Joe Bot. Nothing wrong with the word itself. So much love. Happy Saturday to you, friends. Goodbye for now. See you again soon.